If you've driven through a new residential development lately, you might have felt a strange flash of architectural déjà vu. You turn a corner, and there it is, the house with the white siding, the dark window frames, the neat little porch, and the two-car garage. You look to the left, it's the exact same house, just flipped horizontally. You look to the right, it's the same house, but painted in light beige instead of white. Step inside, and the familiarity only gets more intense. You walk directly into a wide space where the kitchen islands look out over a dining area and a living room. Under your feet is a light-colored, wooden-looking floor. Above you, a grid of perfectly flush LED disc lights glows. If you were blindfolded, spun around, and dropped into a new-build suburban home in Texas, Ohio, or North Carolina, you'd probably have a hard time guessing which state you were actually in. It feels like someone hit copy and paste on the American landscape, and it's incredibly easy to look at this uniformity and assume it's the result of lazy architecture, uninspired design, or some kind of corporate conspiracy to drain the art out of the places we live. But the reality is far more fascinating. The modern American new-build home doesn't look this way because architects ran out of ideas. It looks this way because it is the physical manifestation of a highly optimized, incredibly efficient global economic machine. Every single detail you see, from the shape of the cabinets to the color of the walls, is the result of a complex equation balancing supply chains, labor shortages, risk management, and consumer psychology. To understand why so many new homes look alike, we first have to look at who is building them. A few decades ago, the housing market was dominated by thousands of small, local home builders. They built a handful of houses a year, often sourcing materials locally and customizing plans to fit the quirky desires of individual buyers. Today, a massive portion of the market belongs to giant, publicly traded production builders. These corporations operate less like traditional craftsmen and more like automotive manufacturers. They don't just build houses, they build entire communities at scale. And when you are building thousands of homes across the country at the same time, variation ends up getting neglected for profit. Think about it like ordering food for a massive party. If you ask 100 guests exactly what they want on their burger, your kitchen would stop to a halt. If you serve a high-quality cheeseburger with the sauce on the side, everyone gets fed in 20 minutes. For a production builder, every single day a house sits unfinished is a day they are paying interest on the land, insurance, and overhead costs. They need to build fast. To achieve that speed, they rely on a small menu of pre-approved floor plans and design packages. If a buyer wants to move a wall 3 feet to the left, that means new engineering stamps, new structural calculations, and a complete disruption of the subcontractor's workflow. By keeping choices minimal, builders keep the assembly line moving. But what if the goal is just speed and efficiency? Why choose these specific designs? Why is the entire country seemingly obsessed with the exact same shade of off-white and the exact same style of cabinetry? Let's look closely at the elements we see everywhere, starting with the iconic shaker cabinet. Go into almost any new kitchen and you will find these doors with their characteristic flat center panel and simple rectangular border. It looks clean, timeless, and intentionally minimalist. But from a manufacturing perspective, the shaker door is a masterpiece of cost-cutting logic. Traditional raised panel cabinets require intricate, highly precise wood routing that takes time and produces significant material waste. A shaker door, however, is incredibly simple to manufacture. It can be cranked out by automated CNC machines with minimal waste using affordable, dimensionally stable materials like medium-density fiberboard or MDF, finished with a smooth coat of paint. It looks upscale, but it is deeply economical to produce by the millions. Then look up at the ceiling. The traditional hanging light fixture or decorative surface mount light has largely been replaced by rows of recessed LED wafer lights. Decades ago, installing recessed lighting meant framing heavy metal canisters into the ceiling structure before the drywall even went up. It was labor-intensive and required careful planning. Modern LED wafers, however, are barely thicker than the drywall itself. An electrician can simply cut a quick hole in the finished ceiling, snap the spring-loaded clips into place, and move on. The builder saves money on complex structural framing, the electrician saves hours of labor, and the room instantly feels taller and cleaner to the eye. It's a win for the balance sheet and a win for the aesthetic. Now, look down. That smooth, wide plank oak floor beneath your feet? In many new build homes, it isn't wood at all. It's luxury vinyl plank, or LVP. True hardwood floors are beautiful, but they are expensive, prone to scratching during construction, and require skilled tradespeople to sand, stain, and seal them over several days. LVP, on the other hand, arrives at the job site pre-finished. It snaps together using a simple tongue and groove system that an apprentice can lay down in a fraction of the time. It's waterproof, incredibly durable against construction scuffs, and thanks to modern high-definition printing tech, it looks remarkably like real wood from standing height. By standardizing these specific materials across thousands of homes, large-scale builders unlock staggering purchasing power. They aren't buying 40 boxes of flooring from a local showroom. They are buying entire trainloads directly from the manufacturer. When you buy at that volume, the cost per square foot plummets, creating a price advantage that no custom home could ever match. But material costs are only half the battle. The other major force shaping the copy-paste home is the management of risk, both for the builder and the person buying it. When people purchase a home, they are usually making the single largest financial investment of their lives. Because housing has become highly financialized, buyers are constantly thinking about future value. They ask themselves, if I have to move in 5 years, will someone else want to buy this? This collective anxiety creates what designers call the resale safety net. If you paint your living room a deep, moody emerald green or install patterned Moroccan tile in the master bathroom, you might love it. But a potential buyer 5 years from now might hate it. Decades of home renovation television and real estate algorithms have taught us that the safest choice is a blank canvas. An off-white wall doesn't offend anyone. A light gray floor doesn't force a buyer to rethink their existing furniture. Neutrality eliminates friction. It allows a buyer to tour a house and easily project their own life onto the space. By catering to the widest possible audience, builders ensure their homes sell quickly, and buyers ensure their investment remains liquid. This same logic applies to the ubiquitous open floor plan. Decades ago, homes were broken up into distinct rooms: a formal dining room, a closed-off kitchen, a formal sitting room. This was partly practical. Older heating and cooling systems were more efficient when zones could be closed off. But today, modern HVAC systems handle large, open volumes with ease. By removing interior walls, builders eliminate the cost of extra framing, drywall finish work, electrical switches, and interior doors. At the same time, it makes a smaller footprint feel significantly larger and brighter because natural light can wash through the entire depth of the structure. It delivers exactly what the modern lifestyle demands: casual, connected living while actively trimming construction complexity. When you pull all these threads together, the corporate scaling, the material optimization, the labor savings, and the safety of neutral design, you get the exterior aesthetic that dominates the landscape today. It's a style often called the modern farmhouse or the suburban transitional. It features simple, clean lines, large windows that bring in light, and basic exterior materials like fiber cement siding or engineered stucco applied in predictable, flat planes. It avoids the complex brickwork, intricate roof lines, and custom woodwork of the past because those features require highly specialized labor that is increasingly scarce and expensive. The undeniable downside to this system is a loss of architectural variety and regional character. Neighborhoods can begin to feel repetitive, and the materials used, while highly durable and functional, can sometimes lack the tactile warmth and unique soul of older, handcrafted homes. When every house on the street shares the same DNA, the built environment can start to feel less like an organic community and more like a manufactured product. But it's important to look at the other side of the ledger. The standardization of the American home isn't just about corporate efficiency, it's also about accessibility. By optimizing the supply chain, reducing construction waste, and speeding up building timelines, the housing industry can deliver square footage at a far lower cost per square foot than a custom home ever could. In a market where land costs are soaring and housing inventory is tight, these efficiencies are often what make homeownership possible for thousands of families. Standardization also means that when something breaks down years later, finding a replacement part is incredibly simple. A standard shaker door, a standard LED wafer, or a plank of click-lock flooring can be sourced at a local hardware store in 20 minutes. The system that creates visual repetition also creates long-term predictability and ease of maintenance. The next time you walk into a brand new home and notice those familiar white walls, the light floors, and the crisp, uniform lines, look past the initial feeling of copy and paste. What you are looking at isn't a lack of effort. It is a highly sophisticated, deeply calculated response to the economic realities of our time. It is a space where global supply chains, labor metrics, manufacturing limits, and consumer psychology have all met in a quiet compromise. You aren't just standing in a room, you are standing inside a physical map of the modern economy.